Hi there, this is Ruth from Holistic Yoga, and this is Family Yoga for Polbeth Community Hub. So I think we're on week 5 now, so we've got a little bit of a challenge for you today. Given the weather has been nice, hopefully that's going to continue. We're going to do some balancing today. So this is great if you are outside, so you can take your yoga outside if you want to. Outside you can try balances and not feel so worried about falling down. So falling down is part of it. You're going to fall over, we all do, you're all going to have a wobble, and that's just part of the fun. So enjoy it, feel free to take some risks a little bit and help one another, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. At some point I would imagine that you're going to be in a heap on the floor in your garden. So things you might need for this practice. I'm sitting on a blanket, you might want a little cushion, up to you. I have a yoga block. You're not probably going to have one of these, but it doesn't matter. There's one pose where it might help to have something like this. So a book, a nice big chunky book, will work just as well. So have that nearby. If you're outside, you might get inventive about something else that you could use. So we're going to do some pranayama to start with. Pranayama is a breathing technique. It's anything to do with your breathing. And breathing techniques can be really useful for helping us to feel calm. They can energize us and make us feel more energetic as well. So this is a nice relaxing breath, and it helps you to feel happy. And I thought of this breath because there's so many bees around just now with all the flowers blooming and everything. So this is bumblebee breath. So first of all, you're going to come to a comfortable seated position. I like easy pose. If this doesn't work for you, don't worry. But make sure you're comfortable, and we want to be able to lengthen our spine, so sit nice and tall. Let your shoulders rest down, and then it's up to you. You might want to close your eyes, you might not. That's up to you. So whatever you're more comfortable with. So once you've found your comfortable seat, hands rest somewhere, let them relax, let the shoulders rest down, relaxing the face. And then you're going to take a nice big breath in through your nose, really fill yourself up. And then as you breathe out, you're going to hum like a bee. To happen is, in your family group, you might find there's someone who can really hum for a long time, and other people can't manage it for so long. So you can maybe pause this, have a little competition, see who can hum for the longest, okay? Who can really make their breath last, but obviously don't go too far, okay? And you can also play around with the note that you use. So you can hum a high note, you can hum a low note, and you'll probably feel a difference. So when we hum, there's nice vibrations happen. So maybe talk about where you feel it. You might feel it in your chest, you might feel it in your face. It'll be different for everybody. So see how you feel, especially around the lips. Notice how you feel. I'm going to do one more and I'm going to choose a different note. You're very welcome to pause this recording and try some different things with this. So remember, in through the nose, and then letting the breath out as a lovely long hum. So little tip, if you draw the belly button in as you come towards the end of your breath, when you're starting to run out of breath, gives you a little bit of a boost. So that might let you go for a little bit longer. So I'd love to know what you think. See how you feel about the breath, play around with the sounds you can make. Notice how it feels in your body. Okay, so before we start, I want us to do a little bit for wrists, because we're going to do a little bit where you're going to have some pressure on your wrists. So bring your hands together in front of you, and then send the heels of the hands down. So you're pressing the hands down towards the floor, but keeping them together. Give them a nice wee press there, stretching out the wrists. And then bring the backs of the hands together. Send the elbows down. So this is us stretching a different part of the wrist. And then interlace the fingers and try to make circles with your fist, your clenched fist. See if you can go the other way. It's always a bit tricky going one way. One way's easy. And then give your hands a good shake. Okay, so from here, I'm going to come off my blanket. We're going to have a wee go. Our first balance, we're going to balance on our bottom, on our hips. So we're going to come to boat pose. So for this one, you want your feet about hip distance on the floor in front of you, knees bent. You might start with the hands on the floor behind you. Now sit nice and tall, okay? Long spine, lift your chest a little bit. And then you're going to see if you can lift your feet off the floor. So we want our calves, this part of our leg, parallel with the mat, okay? So lifting the chest, make sure this bit of your tummy is working, okay? You can stay here. This is option 1, balancing on your bottom. Now, boat pose can be here, or you might be able to bring your hands, you might want to take hold of the knees. That might be your next position. See how that feels. You may be able to let go. Depends how your balance is. You may tip back, you may tip forward, play around with it. Now if you're quite strong here, we're going to row the boat. So you're going to take your oar and we're going to go side to side. So can you do this while you balance? So let's go side to side a couple more times. Remember to breathe. One more. Ooh, good, okay. Take hold under the knees again. Further options, you may be able to take the hands up over the head. Keep your shoulders down. Oh, I'm starting to shake now. That means I'm working really hard. And then last one, I want you to see if you can hold onto your big toes and then lengthen out your legs. Now you might not be able to straighten your legs, but it's about the balance today. That's our focus. Really think about the balance coming from your tummy, so keep working that core. Lift, lift, lift. And then out you come. Good, well done. Okay, let's come all the way round onto all fours. So I always like to do a few cat-cows. I can't resist it in any practice. So when you're on all fours, making sure knees are under hips, wrists are under shoulders. Take some nice breaths here. As you breathe in, looking up, tailbone up, belly down. Remember, cornflake bowl in your back. And then as you exhale, lifting the belly, rounding, chin on the chest and spill the cornflakes. 2 more breaths like that. Inhaling, looking up. And then exhaling. Arch in the back like that frightened cat. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Good, okay. So now we're looking for a nice flat back, okay? So you want your tabletop. A table doesn't have a dip in it, okay? There's no cornflake bowl here. Nice flat table. You could have your dinner off of there and nothing would spill. So we're going to play around with balancing on all fours. So from here, I want you to take one leg, doesn't matter which, and send it back behind you. Really press away through the heel. This makes the leg work, okay? And hold itself up. Keep lifting your tummy away from the floor. Now you're welcome to stay here. This might be enough challenge for you, or think opposite. So I've got my right leg up. I'm going to send my left arm forward. So this takes it to another level. This is much more challenging. So take a couple of breaths there. Notice any wobbliness as you challenge your balance. And then option to go further, you're going to see if you can reach your foot. Okay, this is called dancing cat. You don't have to do this bit if you don't want to. And you're going to try and press your foot into your hand and arch your back. Look forward. So this is harder again. So with any practice in yoga, you choose what you want to do. Good, we're going to come back to all fours. So anything that doesn't feel right for you, you're going to miss out. So give your tail a little wag, ease things off, and then we're going to try the other side. So whichever leg you used, I used my right, use the other one. This time it's my left foot going back. Press through the heel, lift the tummy. Now you can stay here. If you think, this is enough for me today, stay where you are, okay? Keep thinking about lifting the tummy and staying balanced. Option to take the opposite arm forward. So my right arm is going to go forward. Again, this might feel like enough. Or reach back for the foot and press the foot into the hand, arch the back, and look forward, dancing cat. Coming back to all fours when you're ready, well done. Okay, so from here, I want you to walk your way around so that you're facing out from the long edge of your mat. So you're going to come up to kneeling, all right? So I'm on my knees and I'm nice and tall. Now, if anyone in the family is finding this isn't right for their knees, you're going to want to miss this bit out. Alternatively, you can use your blanket to pad your knees, so have it underneath the knees. That can really help. Okay, so have a play around with that. Once you're here, I want you to take your right leg and send it out to the side. Okay, so now we're going to balance, same idea, but on one knee, sideways. You'll see what I mean. From here, left hand comes down to the floor. So my right leg's out, left hand to the mat. You might need your adult to make sure you know which leg you're using. So I'm here, I'm lengthways on my mat. I want you to take your top hand, your right hand, up towards the ceiling. See if you can make this shape. And then, if this feels like you can do more, you're going to lift that right foot off the floor, press away through the heel, and we're balancing again. Now again, stay where you are, or like we did in Dancing Cat, you're going to take hold of your ankle. You're going to press your ankle into your hand, and you're going to look out over your fingertips. Good. So this is called baby half moon, this pose. You're going to put your foot down, and then you're going to see if you can lift yourself up. Good. Come back to your knees. There's a lot of left and right here. Might take a wee bit of practice. So coming back to centre, left leg out. Right hand to the mat. Left hand up towards the ceiling. So you've got a nice straight line from that bottom wrist to your top fingertips. And once you feel you're comfortable, you can stay here, or you can lift your left leg, press through your heel, and then you're very welcome to try for the ankle if you can reach it, and then pressing the foot into the hand, same as we did in Dancing Cat, arch in the back, look out over the fingertips. Always listening to your body, not doing too much. Good job, come back, baby half moon. Placing the foot down, and then imagine someone's gently helping this top arm up. Up you come. Good, okay. Coming onto the knees, and then turn back so you're facing the top of your mat again. Okay? From here, place the hands, so you're back on all fours. And we're going to go up to downward dog. We've done this a few times now. So spread the fingers, tuck the toes, and then send your hips back. So imagine your dog's just woken up from its nap and it's having a nice stretch. That's what we're going for. So send the hips back so we've got a nice straight line from our fingertips right to our tailbone. And then you're going to look to gently press your heels down towards the floor. You can walk the dog if you want to. Having a little pedal. And then you might just want to hang out in your down dog. Absolutely fine. You may need to put the knees down if you need a break, but I'm going to try and balance on one leg. So once I've found my downward dog, remember the knees can be as bent as you need them to be. My feet are about hip distance apart, and then I'm going to see if I can lift one leg straight out behind me. And then I'm going to swap and see if I can lift the other one. It might feel different on this side. Good job. Okay, now, option one is to keep trying, right? One leg then the other. But if you want a bit more, you might fancy seeing if you can hop. So have a little hop. These are donkey kicks. So see if you can have a little hop up, being very careful. Have a little hop, then try the other leg. So this is ideal to do in your garden. Good, all right. When you're done, I want you to pop your knees down, wrap your arms all the way around, and have a little quiet moment in child's pose. Sometimes called rock pose when you're doing kids yoga. So take a couple of breaths down here. to come back up to all fours, and then we're going to step forward and have a little moment in standing forward bend. So knees are bent, have a little sway. Ooh. And then we're going to slowly uncurl ourselves back up to standing. Good. Now, you're going to come to your mountain pose, Tadasana pose, feet hip distance. Standing nice and tall. Remember, a mountain is strong, so you want to feel like your feet are rooting down into the ground, but everything else is lifting up. Hands at your heart. Take a breath. Now, for this next bit, you might find it easier to have your hands on your hips. So that's up to you. Hands on hips or hands in Anjali Mudra at your heart. So we're going to play around with standing on one leg. So some people find standing on one leg super easy, and some people find it super hard. So you're outside, hopefully you're nice and safe. Feel free to play around with it, see how far you can go with it today. Bear in mind, some days your balance is better than others. So when you're ready, you're going to see if you can lift one knee off the floor. And then play around with the other knee coming up. And you might find that some people find this super easy and some people find this really hard. Because you don't usually have to stand on one leg very often unless you're a gymnast or something. Now, if you're finding this super easy, I'm going to give you a more difficult option. So you're welcome to continue playing around. You might see if you can hold. Don't forget to breathe. So the longer you hold it for, the more challenging it's going to be. See how my foot is quite flexed? I'm drawing my tummy in, my shoulders are down. Now I'm going to try and go further. I'm going to try and go to airplane. We've done this before. So you're trying to tilt forward. You're sending your leg out behind you and then open up your wings. And a nice airplane pose. And then see if you can come back out the way you went in. Ooh. Bring the knee through, back to where you started, and then put your foot down. Let's try the other side. Lifting the other knee. You're welcome to stay here. Try and hold it. Or send that leg out behind you and then open up your wings. Looking down. Who needs some help down there? Can you see the houses and the cars? Imagine you're flying. Good. Bring the knee through. And then place it down. Good. Now give yourself a nice shake and a wee pat on the back for all of that. And then we're going to try another balance. Now this is quite a tricky one, so be careful with this one. And you may need your little book or something. And all it's for is just to bring the earth up to you a little bit, so you've not got so far to go. So I'm going to leave my right foot forward, pointing to the front of the mat. And I'm going to take a little step back with my left foot. My left foot's pointing to the long edge of the mat. So it's not a big wide stance like our warriors, it's a little bit shorter. And this front knee, you want to leave a little tiny bend in it, okay? Don't lock it out. Take your arms out to the sides. So my front arm is pointing the same way as my toes, and my back arm is pointing out to the back of my mat. We're going to move to triangle pose. So from here, I want you to imagine there's something out there at the front of your mat and you really want it. So maybe it's a big, massive chocolate bar, okay? And we're going to reach for it. I'm going to reach forward, 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 and my hip is going to move back. And then I'm going to take this front hand down towards my front foot. It's going to rest somewhere on my ankle or my calf there. And then my top arm up towards the ceiling. So take a moment here. This is triangle pose. Nice open chest. So this is where we start, and we're going to try a balance from here if you want to try it. You don't have to. So my bottom hand is either going to go to my book or down to the floor on fingertips if I can manage that. So coming here, I'm going to bend this front leg a little bit, leave my back arm up towards the ceiling, or it can go onto my hip if that's easier. And then see if you can float that back leg up. So this bottom hand, my right hand is on my book, or it might be on the floor or the grass if you're outside. Opening up the chest to the side, press away through that back heel, and then maybe take your left arm up towards the ceiling. Now when you want to come out, you're going to bend your standing leg and place your back foot down. Come all the way up. So good. So that was half moon pose. So let's turn, so we do the same thing in the other direction. So my right foot is now pointing to the long edge of the mat. My left foot's to the back of my mat. So make sure you get a little micro bend in that knee. I'm going to bring my book with me. Okay. Arms out. And remember, chocolate bar's at the other end of my mat now. I want it, so I'm going to reach for it all the way over there and then dial my way down. Good. Triangle pose. You can stay here if you want to. Or look down at your book. So my book is about 11 o'clock from my front toes. If my toes are pointing to 12, they're about 11. And then fingertips to the mat or the floor or the book. Top hand can be on the hip. Bend your standing leg and then see if you can straighten it and lift the back leg up. Always a tiny bend in that front leg though. You don't want to lock out the knee. And then see if the top hand can reach up towards the sky. Half moon pose. Ardha Chandrasana is its fancy name. And then see if you can bend that knee, place your back foot down and up you come. Super duper. Okay. When you're ready, we're going to start to calm things down now. So step the feet together, shake the legs out, and have a little sit down on the floor, or the grass, or wherever you are. Okay, so we're going to take a little forward fold now. So after the excitement of being on one leg, we're going to do something to calm the body down. So legs are in front of you, and just drag your heels back towards you a little bit so the knees are a little bit bent. And then you're going to aim to lay your tummy along your legs and wrap your arms underneath. Just give yourself a wee cuddle. And then once you're nice and comfortable, maybe just let the head rest down. So anytime you curl in on yourself like this, or have a forward fold we call it, it's very calming for your body. So I want you to take a moment wherever you are. Notice how your body feels, but also maybe notice anything around you. So notice any sounds you can hear. If you're outside, you might be able to hear birds singing, bees humming. You might be able to hear cars driving past, the wind blowing in the trees. Just take a moment to notice something. Anything at all. Good. And then when you're ready, you're going to slowly roll yourself back up to seated and then come to lie on your back. So this is Shavasana, your final relaxation, and it's really important that you're comfortable for this. So you might want to be flat on your back. This is how it's traditionally done. You might prefer to have your knees bent, feet wide, knees rest together. This is a bit easier on the lower back, so you choose. So once you're comfortable, make sure you're warm. If you're okay with it, you're going to close your eyes. You don't have to. I like to close my eyes because it helps me to focus on my body and relax really deeply. So take your mind's eye, take your attention down to your feet. You're going to notice your toes, your heels, your ankles. Coming all the way up your legs. Noticing your knees, your thighs, and your hips. Feel your back touching the floor and feel your tummy rising and falling with your breath. as it fills and then empties out. I want you to imagine your arms are super heavy. Relax your fingers, you might want to give them a little wiggle. Relaxing the face, the eyes, and feel the head touching the floor or the ground. And just take your time, take a few breaths, and just enjoy being quiet and still. Good job. Now, when you're ready, you're welcome to pause this if you'd like a little bit longer to relax. Or if you feel ready, you're going to have a lovely big stretch. So take the arms up over the head, press the heels away, and make yourself big. Really spread the fingers. You might want to point the toes and then see if you can draw the toes up towards your face. Good. And then maybe bring the knees in towards you. Give yourself a wee squeeze there. I like to rock on my back here. That might feel nice. And then slowly you're going to roll onto your side. You may want to take a couple of breaths on your side. But anytime you're ready, slowly pressing yourself up and coming to a seated position. Any seated position will do fine. Sit tall and just notice how you feel. Hopefully you're feeling nice and happy and relaxed. And you're going to bring your hands to your heart in the Anjali Mudra, closing the eyes if you feel comfortable and bowing your head. Thank you so much for joining me for some yoga today. I would love to know if you enjoy it. Have a great day. Namaste, everyone.